Vikram-1 is about to be launched, but the question is, what's so special about it? The special is the fact that history is about to be created with India's first privately developed rocket about to put satellites in space. And this is literally the operationalization of space sector reforms that we have been talking about. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to be talking about not just how important and significant is the launch of Vikram-1, but also how the space sector economy of India is evolving. So when we look at this very event where we are seeing that the launch of Vikram-1 is about to take place because the Skyroot, basically the developer, the private developer of Vikram-1 vehicle, they have already dispatched it to Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota, and this is where it will be launched from. Now, why Vikram-1 becomes special? It becomes special because, as I said, this is the first private orbital launch attempt. This is the first privately developed orbital launch vehicle. And this shows that we are shifting away from only ISRO looking up to it and towards commercial outlets and commercialization of space sector. Now, when the launch will happen, this is the time where we actually see that yes, the space sector reforms, the commercialization that we are talking about, when we are talking about in space being the facilitator, all of it materializing, and that's why it becomes a very important pivot because this signals India's entry into private sector launch market as well. Because when we look at developed countries sending satellites with private developers, which is a very common thing when we are talking about SpaceX and other agencies, but in India this is something new and opportunistic as well. Because up and until today, it was a state monopoly. That means ISRO was leading all the launches no matter what. But this is the transition to the new space ecosystem where we see startups, where we see private capitals coming up. But the question actually also comes up here that can India actually replicate that what we have created in IT sector in form of success in space sector as well. So let us talk about it more, starting with talking more about what exactly is Vikram-1 and what are its key features. So when we are talking about Vikram-1, before that we need to know the Vikram series, which is the first private launch vehicle series. Now, when we are looking at Vikram series, we have 3 vehicles present here. Now, all of them have been developed by Skyroot Aerospace, and this is the first time, as I mentioned, that we will be seeing a private-led vehicle. So, this will be able to complement the efforts that ISRO had already been taken. The vehicles have been named after Vikram Sarabhai in order to honor him and also to symbolize that how it is going in continuum from public legacy to private innovation, and this is where both are headed to. Now, when we are talking about the 3 vehicles here, we have the first one, which is Vikram-S. It is a suborbital variant which was successfully tested in 2022 in the Prarambh mission. Now, we have Vikram-1, which is a small satellite launch vehicle. That means it can have payload up to 480 kgs, and this is not suborbital, this is lower Earth orbit applicable. Now, when we are talking about Vikram 2 and 3, higher payload capacity, they are going to be taken up, but these are only in pipeline, not materialized yet. And when we are talking about Vikram-1 specifically here, this is where we get to see that 3D printed cryogenic engines, which is commonly known as Dhawan engine, cost efficient launch architecture, and also solid and liquid propulsion hybrid design is present across. Now, when we are talking about the technological features across the Vikram series, when we look at specifically at Vikram-1, we are also seeing carbon composite body which gives it the lightweight. We have multi-stage rocket, we have solid propulsion systems, and 3D printed engines that we are talking about, the Dhawan engines, which reduce the manufacturing complexity. So, this is where Vikram-1 also becomes strategically very important. Now, when we are talking about specifically the space sector, this is the place we'll also move to talk about that how does exactly India's space governance framework work. So, when we are looking at this framework, you have to understand that this is a institutional triad which consists of first ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization. So, you have to look at ISRO as technology developer, as infrastructure provider, and it operates all the launch vehicles, be it the PSLV, GSLV, and then we have LEV, M3, all of them. But this lies as the backbone of India's space capabilities. But furthermore, we have a more recent addition, that is InSpace. Now, InSpace is the regulator and authorization body which will ensure a level playing field, which is a very important factor for commercialization. And then third, we have New Space India Limited, which is the commercial wing of ISRO, which brings in the technology transfer and also the commercial launches. So, when we are looking at the whole space governance framework, we have to look at this whole triad in front of us. And when we are specifically discussing Vikram-1, it also becomes a very important discussion that to understand why this launch is taking place from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota specifically, why Skyroot had to send it, flag it off and send it, and the assembling will take place and the launch will happen from there. Now, this has very clear reasons to behind it, and there are advantages as well. For example, if you look at the location of Sriharikota, which is in proximity with equator, that provides a good fuel efficiency, especially when we are looking at lower Earth orbits or suborbitals. Furthermore, when Sriharikota is located on the coast of Bay of Bengal, this launch takes place and whatever debris, safe debris fall off, they will fall in Bay of Bengal. And there will be no additional infrastructure required because established infrastructure is already present. So, this is also cost effective. So, that is why the launch is taking place from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota rather than from any other place. Now, let us straight up move to talk about that why Vikram-1 is significant. So, when we are talking about that, this is where we get to see that the significance is not just one dimensional, it is multidimensional. When we are looking at economic significance, this is where India not only gets into entry into the satellite market, India also becomes a player in this market. This will give a direct boost to our startups, our innovation systems, and also help in enhancement of technology. Furthermore, when we are talking about the economic significance, this will also give a strategic edge to us, where we will see that the space autonomy or the dependence in terms of space related missions we have, that will reduce. We will be able to be dependent on our own. And this is also going to help us in defense, this is also going to help us in surveillance, and this is going to enhance that capability. And when we look at both of these, we also have to realize that this in itself is a very big dimension, because when we are talking about developing that technology, we are going to be manufacturing that technology. For example, we are already looking at advanced manufacturing. We are already looking at faster and cheaper launches, and this places us in level playing field with global players such as SpaceX. So, Vikram-1 should not be just seen as a launch, rather it is changing of the page of space sector, how it looks, how it operates in our country. What are your thoughts on this? I would especially want to know from your end, what do you think are the challenges that are going to emerge in when we are talking about application or operationalization of space sector reforms? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be leaving you here with the prelims practice question. Let me know the answer in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.